Welcome, everyone, to Todd's World, the wildly opinionated news hour.
That's right.
Pastor Daryl's back.
Yeah, I am.
You know, you're the only one I call pastor because I think
Well,
you
I don't know
deserve.
why
I
that
think you
is.
deserve it.
Okay,
That's
good.
that's a term of respect from me because I don't call anyone else that.
Okay. Well, I'll try to make it through this hour anyway. Keep it intact. We'll see.
He was just here a couple weeks ago.
And maybe it was October 6th.
Couple weeks ago, I think, because
Yeah, it feels like that was my
Carrie was only
anniversary.
back for one. So, and then she came back. She was in town this week, and she did do beers with me, but she didn't have time to do everything.
She's enjoying life way too much.
She is.
The rest of us are just left behind here,
I know.
changing the world while she's playing.
Once you're widowed, your entire life opens up.
Okay. I can't say I'll look forward to that. I don't know how to respond.
She's only got a little time left to be the official Todd's World widow. At the end of the year, it's over.
I know she's been the centerpiece. The best.
How have you been, Daryl?
Well, good, but I want to tell you, I'm drinking coffee today.
Uh-oh.
Out of a Starbucks gift cup. But, when you're my age, the deal is you drink coffee, if I say, hey, I got to run, that's what it is. Get it?
Well, oh, yeah. You got to go. That's what I told you. We can take breaks whenever you want.
Okay, well, then that'll be my break time. Nobody should be surprised.
Just say to me, just say, hey, I got to have a break. And I will be like, okay, Daryl's got to pee.
I got to write that down a minute.
Okay. Holy cow. I have got to open.
You've got a lot of stuff is what I heard, though. I heard you had a good amount of stuff to run by me. Peep, I don't get to prepare much for this.
You shouldn't. I know. You got to prepare more than Carrie.
Make an answer. Yeah. That's what Paul said.
I never tell Carrie anything. Well, once in a while I'll give her a little hint, but for the most part,
it wouldn't hurt you to shoot a text. You know what I'm saying?
All week I text myself. I have a certain text, and I text clips that I find entertaining or interesting or whatever.
And you've done a great job. Recently I've gone, these are really good. I mean, I'm interested. You did the AI thing, I thought, well, that was interesting. The feminism thing, I saw that was interesting.
This one isn't a clip, but now that you brought it up, I just want to say, because you're you are
aging baby boomer,
a musician. You are an aging baby boomer.
Yeah, okay.
That beats the alternative.
Yeah,
right.
So my dad always said.
But there is, I heard about this week. There's an AI singer on Spotify. He has
Is it he? He's got a man's voice.
2 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Oh my gosh.
His name is Breaking Rust.
Breaking Rust. That's funny.
And it's just like, I am appalled at the entire thing. At the entire idea of AI.
They don't know he's AI at all.
I don't know. They must not. I'm sure the Spotify just kind of puts them into the algorithm,
Yeah. Well, who gets the money for all these plays?
I don't know. Whoever probably came up. There's also an AI actress out there that already has an agent. This is insane.
This is the world we live in. I tell you, there's no center. There's no place where there's truth. Everything's up in the air, it feels.
I mean, I feel like AI music can't have any soul at all.
Are we going to hear it?
I could pull it up and play a little bit.
Well, I don't want to put you on, but I'm wondering what Wandering Russ does. Or
you're wondering what it sounds like? Hold on.
Wandering Russ. What is his name again?
I got to find. Where'd it go?
Don't worry about it.
I don't know where my Spotify.
If you stumble on it, put it on.
I just got to find my Spotify. And
that's your microphone there.
Yeah. Well, I found it. It's my problem is I got so many screens and I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Technically, I got my kids' earphones again. My grandkids.
Well, they say you don't sound too bad. I mean, you don't sound as good as you would with an actual setup. But you know what I mean? You still sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on here. What did I just say his name was? Breaking Rust?
Rusty Nail. I don't know.
Breaking Rust. Breaking Wind. Let's see what Breaking Rust is about. Okay. I'm pulling him up right now on Spotify. Here he is. Walk My Walk. We're not going to play much of it.
Walk My Walk. He's not even.
This is him. All AI.
Been beat down, but I don't stay low. Got mud on my jeans, still ready to go. Every scar's a story that I survived. I've been through hell, but I'm still alive. They said, slow down, boy, don't go too fast.
Well, you probably...
I like it. I really like it. That's embarrassing that I like it, but it's got a real feel to it. Don't you like it?
I hate everything AI. So I don't... My filters are up to where it won't even let me like it.
Who
you know what I mean?
Song? Did AI write the song?
I don't know. I really don't know. I just... Cool. The whole thing is just like... I just think it's horrible. Now, I think that's horrible. I think it's horrible as an author.
Yeah.
Well, I guess as a podcaster, it's all creative. With my daughter being a singer-songwriter with Lauren, I hate all of it. Like, this art can only come from soul.
I could never have guessed. Honestly. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed. Would you? If you just heard on the radio?
No, I wouldn't have.
Oh, man.
And, you know, that is going to be a huge problem going forward because there's going to be... I mean, it doesn't matter who. There's going to be fake AI videos, and they're going to look real. They're going to be like, Trump did this, and it'll be completely fake, and and it won't just be Trump. It'll be everybody. Nobody will be able to tell anything.
You could have him on the show.
I could.
That would be great. Just set him right where I am.
I mean, how do we do this when there's zero guardrails for this?
Well, you know, that's what the internet was from the beginning, the Wild West, right? So is it, you know, now this is just the next version.
Well, that's true.
Kind of. It's out of control already. Now it's really out of control.
I shudder to think because, I mean, as soon as a studio realizes they can make an entire movie with AI actors that actually looks real, why would they ever pay real actors? I mean, that's, you know what I mean?
You know, maybe the real actors have to learn to ad lib, and then you could only get, you know, strange things. It would be more like live, you know, there would be no AI. It would be live because you're just ad-libbing. Nobody wrote the script. I mean, like Seinfeld, you know.
I like to hope. Well, that Seinfeld wrote it.
I love Larry David. He was hilarious.
Do you? I love Larry David too.
A lot of people don't get it.
I've had a lot of people actually tell me that I remind them of Larry David at times.
A little bit, you do. You got a little bit of sarcasm.
I'm not as crotchety, I hope.
Like all the time, and you're pretty like him. You know?
As a matter of fact, you know who I have a clip of? So you've watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, his wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm is Cheryl Hines, which is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s wife. Well, she was on Bill Maher.
Oh.
And I have a clip of her talking to Bill Maher. I got to find it.
You're spontaneous. See, this is not AI. This is live.
This is live.
And AI would know right where it is.
This is real soul, except I don't know where it is. I can't find it. What'd I do with it? I have too many clips up, and my computer's struggling to keep up.
Yeah.
Where
I got nothing. You know, you don't have to, we could do that later too.
I know, but I want to find it.
I know she is.
And you just brought it up, so that's a good segue. And it's kind of just like its own little thing. It doesn't tie in, you know what I mean? She's just talking about her experience with Republicans and Democrats, basically. And so is Bill Maher. And obviously they're both, I mean, they're both liberals, right?
Well, he said I was the president though, and then made a nice thing.
They started out as leftists. Why is my computer running so slow? What is going on here? I know it's in here somewhere. I'll find it as we keep talking.
Okay.
Senator Fetterman.
Hit his face a little bit.
Did you? He put out a great tweet about that. Something happened to Fetterman. Fetterman went from being crazy to having a stroke, and as he's come back, he's like sane. He's one of the most sane liberal Democrat. I don't even know if he's liberal anymore. He's one of the most sane Democrats that there is out there anymore.
Are we sure he's not an AI robot?
And he laughs at himself. Like he put that tweet out when he fell and he said, my face is going to look even worse than it did before.
You get older. You learn to do that when you get older, you know?
I know, but Democrats are horrible about it. That's part of their problem. Part of their problem is they can't laugh at themselves.
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's a generalization, but okay.
But well, right. I mean, I'm not saying obviously some can, but that's one of the things that makes Trump so charming and so good is his ability to just laugh at himself about everything.
Yeah. If you don't take him serious, he's funny. But if he's serious, you're like, dude, this is a big job. You can't just, do that. Whatever.
Well, we've got some Trump. I felt like Trump was a little bit on the. He's been on the ropes a little this last week.
They're catching up.
They're catching up. I have felt like you know what? I always feel like with Trump, I always feel like it's self-inflicted.
Oh yeah.
And it
just leave him alone and
it drives me a little crazy. Like I'm like, man, there's no reason for this. In fact,
catching up to me.
I apparently can't find we're gonna run across Cheryl Hines at some point. And don't let me forget, because one of the clips I have we'll talk about at the end.
Okay.
Is can autistic kids read minds?
I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Well, Glenn Beck is interviewing this chick, and some of the things they've done on studies is unbelievable. We'll get to that later. I mean, it's
I won't believe it.
unbelievable.
I could tell you already.
It's what they.
But I've been surprised.
I was shocked. We have a huge. Oh, wait a minute! I just found Cheryl Hines. After all that, after all the stalling, I had found the clip.
She just came up. Yeah.
Here's Bill Maher and Cheryl Hines talking about Trump, Democrats, Republicans. Cheryl Hines is an actress, Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s wife.
Yeah.
And she plays Larry David's wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm, HBO.
Yeah.
I hope to have dinner with him again. And, he definitely doesn't like it when you critique him and thinks you're being unfair, but he is willing to listen.
Yeah.
And if he totally is not, because I, had dinner with him and then didn't become a Trumpist, he will yell at me, but does not want to cut me off. He does not want to cut me off, which is something I cannot say about the left.
Well,
they want to cut you off.
Well, that is true, because the Republicans have been very kind to me from the beginning. Even from the beginning when Bobby was running as a Democrat, they weren't mean.
No.
And they never have been.
No.
And I can't say that for the Democrats.
I agree.
And it's
sad because it's not the Democrats we grew up with.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the difference that people don't, I think, see. They're like, why did you turn on the Democrats? Well, first of all, I didn't. Like I said, we voted for the same person. But I'm not going to pretend I don't notice how different they are.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think the Republicans are partial to pretty blondes. And so I think she was
What's that have to do with Bill Maher?
Well, no, it has to do with her. They said,
okay.
And so I thought, well, of course, that's their MO. Yeah, like I said, I never followed politics for a long time. I don't know. But
so you don't.
I know
you don't...
he does make jokes and that, but when you get serious, when he gets serious though with Donald Trump,
yes.
and make a joke of him, he's not so happy. Sometimes he can, once in a while, but mostly he gets, I'm going to get you.
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
see, I don't think most of the people aren't joking about him. Usually, most of the attacks on him are vicious and are the left is just deranged by and large.
No,
something has happened.
Calling him orange and stuff like that's all.
That's all funny.
Fun.
I don't have any issue with that. Yeah, it's all fun.
It is. It is different.
What do you think? Well, now, so you didn't pay much attention to politics when you were younger. You said
no,
because when Bill Maher says this isn't the Democrats, these aren't the Democrats we grew up with.
Okay,
you don't have any sense for that.
Right. Okay, you would have better. Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't.
Here's the thing about the clip that bothered me, though. Her voice sounded funny without her face attached to it. I found it. I thought her voice seems a little squeaky.
Yeah. I'm working on upgrading our tech to where we can see the video at the same time.
That's her.
It would help a lot more because I'm watching it. You're not watching it, and neither is our wonderful audience watching it. And I'd like to get it to where they can watch it. And
an upgrade for Christmas,
well, that's not the issue. Like Zoom, which is what we're doing it on right now. Zoom just flat out can't. It's not possible. And so
it's set up for a meeting. Yeah,
I'm looking into some other programs or apps or whatever that'll enable me to still record and yet put that video up there. And
send me, if I'll get some popsicle sticks, send me some pictures. I'll put them on.
And you can just
when they're talking, I'll hold them right up here.
So even when Carrie and I are doing it, we can have Daryl on a window with his puppet.
And here's what he said. Oh my God. He's out there, whatever. Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. That was, I mean, it didn't surprise me because I think the left has big problems. I think the right has big problems currently too. I just think they're different set. Well, where the uniparty agrees, they tend to be the same problems, but then
exactly
you can get off. And
as I see it, we as the United States have problems.
We have big problems.
I see it, and we agree on that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't. This is Joe Rogan talking about Trump. This is a short little clip. Tells you why he kind of came around on Trump. Now he's not dyed in the wool. I wouldn't call Joe Rogan MAGA. He's upset that Trump, he doesn't talk about it in this clip, but he's upset that Trump is deporting the poor little innocent construction workers from Home Depot.
Okay.
And Trump was just supposed to deport criminals. And I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe if
the work's not getting done,
maybe if there was a bunch of illegals, podcasters trying to take over Joe Rogan's job, maybe he would be a little more sensitive to the idea. So,
that's not going to happen, though. He knows that.
So.
We all know that. You're going to take over.
I'm going to take over for Joe. Yeah. Well, no, Joe does great. You know what? He has all the guests, the interviews. Everything he does is not my gig. I don't ever want guests. I'm not interested in interviews. I mean, I like to have co-hosts like you.
It's not that he doesn't have faults.
Whoa, there he is.
There he is.
But yeah. Most of podcasters have gone that way, where everything's interviews and you got the same kind of guests cycling through different ones. And to me, that's fine. And Joe Rogan's one of the best.
And this one's original.
But
not many like this.
I'm from the Rush Limbaugh cut. Where he rushed it 3 hours a day by himself. Well, he had callers. And his callers
you couldn't believe that I never listened to Rush Limbaugh. You were just stunned. Like, how can you live in America and not hear Rush Limbaugh?
Wonder how that could happen.
I was really busy doing church things and God things. And, I didn't care.
Let's hear what Joe says.
He doesn't
about
have
Trump.
faults. He most certainly has faults.
Trump has faults.
They all have faults. It's just they had control of the media and they turned him into something that he wasn't just 10 years ago to them. Very strange how it was done.
Yeah.
And we all were a victim of it. Everybody, you don't want to admit that he has any positive qualities, so you get labeled a Nazi.
Yeah. Well, and why do you think that happened?
Well, because he is an outsider and he is someone who did not come through the political system, so doesn't have all these relations. And all of these intertwined conflictions with corporations and all these different businesses that have paid for his campaign. The campaign's self-financed. And then you have someone who didn't play the game to get in there. And you can't have that. You can't have that. If you have that,
that's true.
And this guy who doesn't want wars, he doesn't want us giving money to foreign companies and foreign countries and propping up dictators, we can't have that. We need that. That's part of the American machine. That's how it all works.
The military-industrial complex.
It's real.
Yeah, it's been real for a long time.
I mean, when Eisenhower talked about it on television at the end of his term, it's kind of a crazy moment in history that was just broadcast on television and wasn't really revisited until YouTube came around. It's not that he doesn't have...
What do you think?
Well, who did you say he was talking to again?
I don't know who he was talking to. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me on this clip.
Recognize that guy's voice.
No, I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about his
points? I was trying to figure out that.
What do you think about it? What he said about Trump?
That he doesn't fit in anywhere. He doesn't play the game and all that.
Yeah.
I mean that? Yeah, I think he does, don't you? I just think he doesn't make he makes a big thing about being very independent, but you can see that there's times when And he's kind of shifting.
Certainly.
And then, of course, bring on Elon and push him around a little bit to prove that, nobody's showing me what to do. That might have been part of the plan. I mean, I'll make up my own conspiracy.
I think one of the things Rogan said, where he said part of the pushback that Trump faced was because the machine cannot have someone like him come from the outside and be able to achieve what he's achieved. Because if he can do that, hell, anybody can do it, is what they think. And we've got this all locked up. We got a system set up. You got to go through the channels. He didn't do any of that.
I'm surprised.
That scared all of them. Now,
yeah, I'm surprised when he can blow up boats, over there off the coast of Venezuela, just kind of by his own word. I mean, didn't that surprise you? Doesn't it seem like we should have?
What the only?
I mean, people that came out.
The
said,
only thing that's surprising about it is that he's honest about it. Obama did it all the time. Obama killed American citizens with drones. Like Obama was droning people. They called him the drone president because he killed so many people in the Middle East with drones.
Really?
Yeah, he just killed them. He didn't care. And that was his MO. He'd just whack them with drones. And drones, he'd kill an entire, there'd be supposedly a terrorist. And then they find out, oh no, it's just 30 or 40 people getting together for a kid's birthday party. All of them are dead. And I'm not saying that's just Obama. Bush, all of them. They're all, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is the wildly opinionated part, because I don't know if that's ever been really, I've never seen
100%. That's the difference.
100%.
The difference is that Trump does it right out front. Like Trump is just like, I'm whacking this boat.
I know. And then you see it on TV, and I'm like, is this like landing on the moon? Because
actually
all that.
I like that. There's things that Trump does that I don't necessarily know whether the president should have the power to do or not, constitutionally.
Yeah,
but there's
things
I like that he does, because if he's doing nothing else, he's drawing attention to the fact that this is what presidents do all the time. They just keep it under, you know what I mean? They just hide it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I like the exposure. Okay. If this is going on, no different than what Obama did. Okay. Let's put it out there. Let's let the American people know, okay, this is what we do.
Don't you think that's part of who he is, though? To kind of say, you can't touch me. I can show you what I'm doing, but you can't touch me. I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose votes. Really? I mean, that one bothered me. Did that bother you?
No.
What if your mother was on Fifth Avenue or whatever? Was it Fifth Avenue? I don't know.
Yeah, it was. Well,
that seems wrong to me. Just in the heart of the pastor, that feels that first of all, it seems wrong to shoot someone on Fifth Avenue.
He's not advocating shooting someone on Fifth Avenue.
And then to brag about it, that seems, does that seem wrong to you?
He's making a hyperbolic point.
But
hyperbole.
No,
Pastor
he's putting
Daryl.
it out there because no, we don't deal in that. We talk but
Jesus was all about hyperbole.
Yeah.
Why do you think he said, better to cut off your arm than go to hell? He's a little bit hyperbolic, right?
Well, I don't think he expected to do that. I think that you got a point there.
So
using Jesus against me to defend Donald Trump, though, doesn't that seem wrong?
Debbie warned you.
Let's get her in here. Where is she?
But that is Trump. Rush made the comment, or this was obviously before Rush died. Rush died in 2021, I think, right after January 6th and all that happened. Rush passed away. He made the comment, the only person who can separate Trump from his base is Trump. And there's times I wonder if he's trying to this week.
Well,
this week
if Russ is wrong. There seems to be a splintering, eh?
There does, although I don't know that he had an interview this week with Laura Ingraham on Fox, on the Fox News, that I thought was just Trump. I'm saying, not Rush. Rush is dead.
I know that.
So
somehow I got that. Yeah.
Trump had it, and I thought it was when I just commented on it when I saw it, and I only saw clips. I didn't watch the whole interview. I was like, it's brutal. That's what I felt like. I felt like this is brutal for Trump. There was times in his first term that I thought, oh, this is brutal. And it always felt self-inflicted to me.
Yeah.
So here he is talking about 50-year mortgages. That's his big
Okay, let's hear
I
this.
thought this can't possibly be.
Sounds like a fine idea.
This cannot possibly be what Trump is coming up with as an answer to the housing crisis is a 50-year mortgage. I
can't wait to hear.
So Laura Ingram is asking him about the 50-year mortgages.
Housing costs are still out of reach. And another thing that your administration is trying to tackle, many Americans, the average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad. The country you and I grew up in.
I inherited that. Look.
Uh-oh, where'd he go? Sorry, it was my fault, guys. Let's try this again.
Right, but let me get to the question, though, because your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is you pay something less from 30. That some people had a 40, and then now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor. It might help a little bit. But the problem was that Biden did this. He increased the interest rates, and I have a lousy Fed person who's going to be gone in a few months.
He's right about that. He does have a lousy Fed person.
Did you interrupt it just to say
no, that's the end of the clip.
That's the end? He's got more to say than that, doesn't he? Is that all he said?
I don't know. That's the end of my clip, Daryl.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what I think of what
Tell me what you think.
I think I saw this somewhere.
And
so
if you saw more to it, you're welcome to add to the
Well, he's so out of touch with the middle class.
At times, sometimes he's so in touch. It's so strange to me.
He's never paid off a loan in his life. He always just refinances everything in his life, okay. But he's not been like mom and dad. I mean, Debbie's mom and dad lived in the same house 52 years.
He hasn't had the same experience as a lot of middle-class people, true.
Right, middle-class people, they figured out, look, I'm paying all interest the first 3 years of this loan.
Yeah.
And it stays high for a long time because I paid $69 of my $580 payment on principal. And I'm never going to own this home, And so to tell me that I'm paying now instead of $59, I'm paying $22 on my principal of my loan, they're going to go, well, that's not a solution, Don.
No, it's not a solution.
And so 100%. I just thought he's so completely out of touch with that. Then I thought it's just, it's kind of, he doesn't work at McDonald's like that advertisement said. When he's flipping burgers at the window, that's not really.
That was one of the greatest
and that's
campaign moves that we've ever seen.
I've got to say something that'll make me look a little bit, maybe not nice.
Uh-oh.
But, Kai played in this tournament over the weekend. His granddaughter. Yeah.
A golf tournament.
Now, yeah. And so I thought, wow, she's a good golfer. Honestly, she has a good swing. And I think she does really well in the par threes in particular. So she's a good golfer. But she's ranked 461 in the junior Americans amateur. I mean, that's low.
Okay.
It's not. In other words, she got in there because of who she was. And then I started reading people going, well, of course, because it's all about, as we talked about last week with your buddy with the hair, the new, everybody wants to get on TV. Everybody wants to get a show. Last time when we talked, who was that guy? The guy that Lauren likes, the young guy. Anyway.
Nick.
Yeah. Everybody just wants, and so she brings in enough attention and enough people watching and enough, money that it was a good move by the sponsor.
Yeah, certainly.
But then what about all the, the people out there trying to golf and doing it, from the ground up? You're not going to get there. You're going to be paying on that loan for 50 years. You're not going to get in a tournament. You got to be, and you know what? You probably know this. You know her mother?
Oh.
You know who she's dating?
Tiger Woods?
Yeah, is there a better coach out there?
Look at me go.
I'm like, if I had a Tiger Woods, I bet I'd improve. Somewhere. And I'm no good, but that just bothered me. I thought,
why? Well,
the privilege, that people have,
Well, but
She's
there's
very
always
gracious
going to be
young
privilege. I
lady.
mean, that's not, any of these places are always. Why does Dancing with the Stars have on who they have on? Because they're the best dancers? No, because they're going to get them the best ratings.
Todd, you're invited to go out in the football field in the NFL anytime. Okay, see if you can hang with those guys. Do you remember when that happened?
Who?
I just thought of this. Milt Plum. Do you remember that?
Who?
Milt Plum. This is how old I am.
No.
Milt Plum was a writer, sports writer for Detroit, and he said
In the
I could play in the
1800s?
NFL. He said I could play with the Detroit Lions. They called him a paper tiger, so they gave him a shot.
Oh,
and he just blitzed the snot out of him.
well, of
He was like,
course.
"This is hard." Like, really, Milt? No, maybe Milt Plum was the real quarterback. I don't know, something like that. It was a writer. Maybe it was. I should have stuck with my first. No one's going to look it up.
I agree with you on what you're saying about 50. Well, as soon as I heard it, the 50-year mortgage thing was just
think about that.
It was. You know what? If it's rolled out as a small piece of something, I guess whatever. I agree that it's just a. I agree it doesn't benefit anybody but the banks, and well, I'm going to say this: banks and boomers, because who has the most invested in making sure housing prices stay elevated to the prices they are right now. I think is probably boomers, because they hold the most equity out there in their homes.
They do,
and therefore to keep them elevated benefits. And listen, I'm not saying that's good, bad, or otherwise. My only point is banks. And then if it helps to keep things elevated as far as prices, to some extent, boomers, but banks mostly. And I just don't. I have no. I haven't heard anything. Maybe making. There's some rumblings about making mortgages potable, which means you right now, let's say, have a mortgage, or me, let's say I have a mortgage on a house. House is say it's a 4% mortgage, 30-year mortgage, whatever. Well, when I buy my next house, I could take my mortgage with me and then just add on whatever the extra is. That would make a difference. That would make a meaningful difference for people.
That doesn't seem like a bad idea, does it?
No, I think that's a good idea, but I don't think
the banks don't want to do
banks
that.
don't want to do that.
They want to start from the beginning, right? And they want it to be in flux. They really couldn't afford to do that, do you think? Because at a certain point when interest rates, when they're paying certain interest rates, they can't still pay you that low rate that you took on your portable.
Well, they're not paying you. You're paying it.
Well, I know, but you're paying it at 3.2% when they're having to pay maybe 8% for some of their other sorts of investments. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that portable
but
thing,
they would have been just fine. They would have held to that if you'd have stayed in the house that you were in.
Good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'm saying they're dependent on that movement. That movement helps. That market helps.
Yeah, you're saying it's built into their margins and everything else, and it may be.
Yeah,
that might be.
But it's not a bad idea. I say them both.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's an idea to look at. It's a good idea to look at. How could you make those?
That one maybe. Other than that, mass deportations. The only way you're going to lower housing prices and rent prices is to remove about 20 to 30 million people out of the U.S. That will instantly change the supply and the demand curve.
Dumbest idea. Don't you think? You're not serious, are you?
No, I am serious. That's the only thing that'll do it. It's completely supply and demand.
Well,
I mean,
housing is, because I think a lot of folks that are poor end up living with, their grandpa moves in. They have different generations live together.
Most illegal immigrants
kids live with a lot of friends for a long time, because if they're single, they can't buy a house. You say, hey, look, until one of us marries, or maybe we won't, let's buy a house together. Don't you think
that's another thing? What do you think about the fact that the average home buyer, first-time home buyer age, 1993 was mid-20s, and now it's 40?
I think it's so sad.
I mean, what do you do about it? You know what I mean? The issue we've got is that they, through COVID, almost completely because of COVID, they injected all of this money into the system, and therefore we have all of this inflation, and there's no way to get the money back out. I don't know that there's any way for prices in a realistic sense to ever come down all that much.
Right. Well, our federal government, do you think they invest a little bit too much in the military? What is the percentage we have?
I don't
Did we have
know.
that pie chart last time we
I'm
talked?
quite certain that we spend too much money on military, but I mean, as
But I mean,
opposed
too
to
much of a
what?
lot of money is a lot of money.
I agree. But where do you cut is the problem.
Well, military.
You start pulling bases out of foreign countries, maybe. That's a reasonable thing to say. Maybe our military should be primarily for defense.
Look, well, no. It's the Department of War now.
Now it is.
Defense is out of the game.
But all that's doing again, all that's doing is Trump is just exposing what has been the case. Like, it's always been a Department of War. It was a Department of War under Abraham Lincoln, which is when the cabinet secretary was started, and it's never been anything.
Just kidding. But we're not a Department of War. You'd agree? Is that
no? I 100%
that's a good title.
That's what it is. Yeah, I think that's what it should be called. And see, based on that, if somebody says, listen, the Department of War spends $1 trillion, and somebody says, I don't think we should spend $1 trillion on wars, that makes it a lot easier than saying that, well, it's for our defense, because so much of it isn't for our defense.
No, it's not.
And so I'd rather,
it's changed so much. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it should be. I like it, in a perfect world. I agree with you. There shouldn't be anywhere near that much spent.
It's tough questions. I mean, I think of countries that I go, have never been in a war. Like, has Brazil been in a war? That's a big country.
Probably. I don't know. Brazil, I think, specializes in their own civil wars. So they don't.
Yeah, they're run by some mafia. You think probably. I don't know what they're doing. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of countries that they've not been in wars unless they're dragged in by somebody else attacking them. But I don't know. We're raised in a warlike culture.
Well, 100%
in America. Yeah.
Well, not just America.
Kind of like the banks have incorporated this percent thing, so we've incorporated this industrialization war kind of thing.
Yes, we have.
I mean, it all kind of goes. Yeah, they're big problems. I haven't got the solution, but
how about more Trump with Laura? This one's a little longer clip.
Oh, yeah.
This is about affordability.
I begin to like her.
You like Laura? She gave Trump. She didn't back down. This wasn't a softball interview by Laura with Trump.
I know it. I probably, from the little bit I saw, it took him off guard.
I don't know. I mean, he takes the rough interviews as they come, but most of this he deserved. I mean, I gotta, and I love Trump. I mean, everybody who listens would know that I love Trump, and I think he's one of the most entertaining presidents we've ever had. Maybe one of the best presidents we've ever had. But I will say this would include his first term, that there have been times within that where he's the most frustrating and disappointing president that we've ever had to me.
Yeah. Like, I have all something going on. You got that nailed. Something going on.
It drives me.
The economy was listed as a top concern. I know you know this, for voters in New Jersey, New York, Virginia. And I've been all over the affordability issue today and for the last several months. Eggs, gas, a dinner cost for Thanksgiving way down. But other things, as you noted, have gone up. Beef, coffee,
they're going to come
auto
down
repairs.
Very shortly.
Is this a voter perception issue of the economy? Or is there more that needs to be done by Republicans on Capitol Hill, or done in terms of policy?
More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats. They're saying, they just have to say, they put out something, say today costs are up. They feed it to the anchors of ABC, CBS, and NBC, and a lot of other, and CNN, and et cetera. And it's like a standard. I'll never forget, they had used a word like manufactured. Do you remember the word manufactured? It's a manufactured economy. Nobody uses that word. Every anchor broke the manufactured. They do exactly what they say. It's such a rigged system. So are you ready? Costs are way down. Gasoline is going to be hitting $2 pretty soon, or around $2. Gasoline is at $2.70 now.
We'll keep listening to this clip, but this just seems to me like this is a no-win road for him to go down.
Right. Exactly. That's true.
And it was at $4.50 under Biden, under Sleepy Joe. When gasoline comes down, when energy comes down, and everybody agrees energy's down, we're drill, baby, drill. We're going like wild.
Electricity's not down.
More,
I was going to say, not here.
Oil and gas in the last month than we ever have before, by far. And we're going to also end up filling up the national strategic reserves, which were taken out by Biden in order to try and win an election. Didn't work out too well. they tapped in. That's supposed to be for war, for national emergency, not to get.
So are you saying that voters are misperceiving how they feel, or?
So when I took over, you remember?
Because you said Biden did that too, because he was saying things were great, but things weren't great.
It's synonymous, Biden and Kamala, because you didn't know who the hell was campaigning. I mean, it got to a point. So I was up by 20 points on Biden or some crazy number. And they said, all right, let's get him out. We'll put a new one. This never happened to anybody. All of a sudden, I have somebody new. And they had the 6-week honeymoon, which was standard in the world of politics. You get a little honeymoon. And she had her little honeymoon, but then eventually people got to know her too. And then they had the 60 Minutes catastrophe where they, changed her answer.
Housing costs are.
Yeah, he didn't. He just. Yeah. He just did.
Well, I will agree that the Democrats mishandled their part. I'll agree with him on that. Now, he, of course, makes it suddenly it happened, like Jesus the born, suddenly it was upon him. I'm like, they didn't do well. What else was he talking about? I mean, in most of the things he says.
Well, he just started.
Lauren seems to have some authority over him. I've never heard anyone kind of outvoice him or whatever. You know what I mean? Usually he just speaks over them. But
his problem is that he doesn't have. These are just bad. The economy isn't great.
Right.
The facts on the ground on this. Now, I don't know.
Too many people are aware.
I don't know what Trump's trying to do. If he believes, which I think he does, that within 6 months this economy is going to turn around to the point where it's rolling, and that right now it wouldn't matter if there's no point in him getting down in the gloom and doom, and he's trying to project. He's trying to get people. If that's what he's trying to do, maybe, and that's okay, but we aren't going to know that for 6 months till this thing takes off, and it better take off, or the midterms are done for the Republicans.
Yeah, it's going to stumble along. I don't think it's going to take off. I think, he's always trying to do that, to almost mislead people. Don't you think it's always?
I don't know if it's misleading. See, I would call it leading.
Tomorrow it's going to be better. This is temporary. The left did it. The press put it out. That's kind of like the formula, right? And so.
You know what I want to tell you? This has nothing to do with Trump.
No.
Today, what I was doing before we got on?
We were agreeing on Trump.
No. I just wanted to tell you. You brought up tomorrow. Kate came over with a friend, and they're watching Annie, the movie from the 1980s
have a
with
part, I saw.
Carol Burnett. Yeah, she got Miss Hannigan, which is Carol Burnett in the Annie movie from the 80s.
Who it is? I wondered who that character was. I saw,
and she's so excited about it. So she's going to do a great job. You and Debbie are going to have to come. It's the first weekend of March. You're going to have to hit one of the shows.
Yeah, even though the prices are so high, the economy is so bad.
$10 maybe.
I think it was more than
maybe
that,
it was 15. I don't know.
15.
I can't remember how much it was.
Fixed income. Aging baby boomers, you know how that is.
So anyway, I'm excited about Kate doing Annie or Miss Hannigan. I think that'll be fun.
I'll come. Yeah.
So but you're right about Trump that I don't know. I think you could call it misleading. I would call it leading, because I think he's pushing people to where he believes they're going to need to go. And where it's going to go.
That's not misleading. Pushing people to where they need to go. Where it may not be a reality. That's not misleading.
Well, no, I'm not saying. He's further out is the point. So he's looking at maybe looking at indicators, and he's looking at stuff, and he's saying we've done this, and it's gonna turn.
Okay.
And
we're just preparing.
But I don't think prices are I think the Fed guy is a big problem. There's no doubt that interest rates are an issue. For housing.
I love when they were touring that new building that the Fed was supposed to be putting up building. Do you remember that clip? Yeah. And Trump pulls out of his pocket. Well, I have it right here. And the guy goes, those aren't right facts. That was a building we built 5 years ago. You remember that? That was the greatest clip.
I do. I thought he nailed Jerome Powell. I thought Jerome Powell
it was the opposite. See how that is? That's so funny. That's so funny. You know how you bring your own, who you're rooting for,
Yeah.
It's like watching a fight between Ali and Foreman and going, I know who won that. It was clear. Anyway. maybe Frazier. They went 15 rounds. But
did you watch some of those fights back in the day?
I remember I was a little boy. I grew up in Detroit area. Okay, I was a little boy, and I wanted Sonny Liston to win.
You grew up where?
Down in the Detroit area.
Oh, I thought you grew up by Whitehall.
No, we moved there. When my dad got in his accident, we relocated.
Okay. All right.
So I grew up, and I'm listening on a radio, a
Yeah.
transistor radio. I'm
Yeah.
not even kidding. And he was fighting Cassius Clay. And I thought,
Who
I'm
was?
like, Sonny Liston.
Sonny
He was
Liston
from
was
Detroit.
fighting. Yeah.
That was the famous knockout
Okay.
where it didn't even look like he hit him. And
Where it
Sonny
didn't look
Liston
like
went down.
Ali hit him. Yeah.
Cassius
Or
Clay.
Cassius Clay, right. Same
See,
person.
this is how old my memory is, which makes me go back. Out of nowhere, I came up with the wrong name. Milt Plum was the real quarterback for the Lions.
Oh.
The guy was George Plimpton.
Oh.
George Plimpton was the writer.
Okay.
Who wrote. And listen, this is how old George Plimpton was born in 1927.
Wow. Holy moly.
Yeah, he died
Taking
September
it back.
23rd. I had to look it up because it wasn't fitting right in my gut. How you go, I don't think that was right. Now someone's going to fact check me like they care. But
Carrie fact checks me frequently.
Does she really?
It's okay. Well, I'm live on air. Whatever you hear is what happens. It's usually on air.
Yeah, and I see her. I see her.
You can see her doing it, which is fine. It's fine because it's never on any. It's not. It never has anything to do with my points. It's the details. You know what I mean?
I know.
My points are always solid.
Kind of like Lauren Ingram had to fix Trump when he said something like, it used to be 40. She goes 30.
In spite of your friend who you put on Facebook, and he's like, "How'd it go, Daryl? I don't agree with Todd on much of anything."
Yeah, that was funny, wasn't it?
I thought it was.
Well, I did say that.
I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the funniest things I'd heard. I loved it.
And you commented it, which was funny, because he was. I think he was going, whoa, because
What was his name?
People gotta. I'd have to look it up.
I can't remember either.
But people. They watch these things. They don't know really. They don't see every day, so they don't know.
Right.
Maybe you changed. Maybe you've done something. But what they don't understand is that you can still be friends. That's what they don't understand.
That's sad because that is I feel like a relatively recent
the
development.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case 15 years ago.
Now watch. By next Christmas, I'll be going, him? Oh,
maybe with Obama. Maybe it started with Obama. I don't know.
No.
Although I never lost any.
Why are we going to blame Obama?
I never lost any friends or family over Obama. So
no, I didn't either.
I don't know. I don't know the answer. All I know is that I have over Trump.
Yeah. And you're not alone. There's so many people, that it's just, it's too bad.
It's not worth it. I don't understand. Part of why it's not worth it is because, honest to God, I promise you, none of the politicians, none of them care nearly as much about you as you do about them.
I know. It's so true. I wanted to ask you, though, as we're getting on here, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm shocked. I'm like, she's making sense sometimes. I'm like, I don't even, am I in the Twilight Zone? Remember that show? I'm like,
yes, you are.
What happened here?
She is.
Okay, that's what
I got her. Let's listen to a little bit of her. I got to find it.
Okay.
Where did I put that?
She used to be one of the people that I was like, oh my gosh, her and Brober. They were like, ooh.
Bober. Yeah, I like Bober.
Yeah, I had that name wrong too. But this was happening when you get old. You get
Lauren Bober. MTG.
Watching. Yeah.
Oh, that's Elon talking about AI. Oh, no. Why did I think I had it? If I didn't have so many.
You don't have her? She's been in the news.
No, I've got her. Don't worry. I just got to find her.
I say you're sloughing off.
I just can't find.
She's got to be somewhere.
Just please watch this. Is Jeff Duncan.
Do you have another one? Yeah.
Where is she? I've got too many clips up. My computer's running too slow. And honestly, I can't. I got so many clips, and I even
beginning to look a lot like
I cut them down too, because Hunter's back in the news. Oh God, Hunter's back. Hunter Biden.
Oh, they won't let that man rest.
I love Hunter.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of Hunter.
He's got issues.
But you're right. I believe that you have started to like MTG. I'm trying to find her here because
I didn't say that. I just said I was surprised by what she's saying.
She's gone. There's definitely been an issue between Trump and MTG.
You think
Marjorie
she's thinking
Taylor
about running
Greene.
for president?
Here she is. She's way at the
Okay.
back. No,
I think she is. I do. You don't? I don't know though.
let's hear what she says. Let's hear. This is her with who is this? Dana Bash from CNN, I think. Maybe.
Congresswoman, you posted on X that President Trump is, with his comments, fueling a, quote, hotbed of threats against you. Obviously, any threats to your...
Okay, hold on a second. I want to read you. I didn't realize where they started here. I want to read you what Trump's tweet was about MTG, so people know what's being referenced here.
Okay. Good idea.
Let me find it quick. I swear I did have it. Here it is. Trump says, I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world, as opposed to being a laughingstock like we were just 12 months ago, having trillions of dollars, record-setting invested in the USA, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country just 12 months ago, and so much more.
Oh, by the way.
You got all that?
Oh, my God.
I love Trump. All I see is wacky Marjorie doing is complain, complain, complain. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12% and didn't have a chance, unless, of course, she had my endorsement.
Did he say that really? He put that in there, or are you doing that?
No, I'm not putting anything in there.
Oh,
unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. But with 219 congressmen women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead.
Really normal, right? Oh my God! You're making fun of him now.
No, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day.
Wow.
I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district in Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support.
No, the right person.
She has gone far left, even doing The View with their low IQ Republican-hating anchors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. I can't quit.
Wow.
There's so much. Trump just,
I mean, did Saturday Night Live write that? Or was that real?
It's just so great. I just love it.
I want SNL to get a hold of that. Did you see the SNL where the two brothers on HGTV who do the redos of houses came to the White House?
You sent it to me. That's why I saw it. It was a funny clip. Yeah, because I don't watch SNL. Not for any reason.
It was so funny.
It was funny.
It was one of the best they've had in a long time. And I've seen that show for a while, but I've never watched it.
So this is Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about how Trump is trying to get her killed.
On X that President Trump is, with his comments, fueling a, quote, hotbed of threats against you. Obviously, any threats to your safety are completely unacceptable. But we have seen these kinds of attacks or criticism from the president at other people. It's not new.
No.
And with respect, I haven't heard you speak out about it until it was directed at you.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you got to say?
When it becomes personal, you know, that is harder.
And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country. It's been
She's apologizing to you, Pastor Daryl.
I know.
Do you accept her apology?
Well, I'm
something
trying.
I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions. And I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another. And we need to figure out a new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to respect each other with our disagreements.
So just to put a button on this, you regret the things that you have said and posted in the past, the Facebook post that was taken down of you in 2020 holding a gun alongside the squad.
God. She was holding a
encouraging
gun?
people to go on the offense against the socialists, liking a tweet of somebody calling for the execution of Nancy Pelosi and former President Obama. Just examples.
Well, Dana, as you know, and many people know, I addressed that back in 2021. And of course, I never want to cause any harm or anything bad for anyone. So that was addressed back then. And I very much stand by my words I said then, and I stand by my words today. I think America needs to come together and end all the toxic, dangerous rhetoric and divide. And I'm leading the way with my own example. And I hope that President Trump can do the same.
She's leading the way. What do you think, Daryl? Has MTG found Jesus? She had a she up for a radical life change?
Well, I was going to say, that sounds like repentance.
Does it?
It's doing pretty good until full repentance comes. I mean, she's coming around. Now, she didn't want to repeat. I mean, that lady had a laundry list too. These things that you did, why do you have to do that? But whatever. And she said, well, I did that in 2021. I almost said 1921. In 2021.
Aging boomers.
When someone does that, though, that tells you that they want to save some of their self-esteem in this repentance, So she probably still has that. And yeah, God bless her. She seems better to me. I'll be honest, that seems better. If we had people that were all saying that, let's come together more. Somehow we've let the edges run the ship, or whatever it is. It's not a good metaphor, but you know what I'm saying.
Maybe we should, yeah.
You got a better metaphor for that?
Well, yeah, I think
the crazies run the deal.
There's nothing I like more than Marjorie Taylor Greene getting on CNN with Dana Bash and singing, "I'd like to buy the world a Coke."
I love that. That was such a good commercial. We all came together. Well, anyway.
Whatever happened?
And so,
I don't believe Marjorie Taylor Greene for one hot second.
Did you believe her before?
I believed her before because, she was a little crazy. She was a little crazy, and I mean, how can you not believe it? It seemed like it fit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I agreed with everything she said before.
Or whatever,
no, it fit her crazy. Like, that's who she was.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I'm sorry.
I don't have voted her if you're in Georgia. You wouldn't vote her.
I don't know. I mean, listen. Before I liked Marjorie Taylor Greene
in a primary against Trump, and Trump, he intends to run. We won't have that talk.
To run, not for Georgia.
Full rule, but he does want to be a king.
She's not. You mean her run for president? She's not running for.
No, who would you vote for? Her? Wait, nothing's impossible these days. But if you're voting, would you vote for her?
Trump, of course. I'd vote for Trump over anybody in a primary. I'm trying to think of who I'd vote for instead. And I can't think of anybody. So, in spite of how much she drives me crazy at times, but
she does me too. There's something about her's abrasive. What is it? I don't know.
Well, this to me is this is completely inauthentic. And I think Trump's probably right. She had aspirations for higher office in Georgia. And see this is what I always look at, Daryl. You know me. I'm story oriented. So I think by and large, they lie to us about everything. But sometimes you can see the story at least that's being told, and you can say, does that story make sense amongst all the details of lies? So
Right.
I look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, and to me, this story seems like she got upset. She got her feelings hurt. Now she's going against everybody that has been part of her.
Okay. It seems reactionary to it. Doesn't seem the flow.
Yeah, and that seems to fit her crazy to me.
Right.
Like that seems like what she would do. And maybe Probert would too in the same situation.
Well, maybe that's why I was a little hesitant to say, I fully receive it. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
But I mean, whatever she wants to say, I just don't buy it. I don't, any of them, they're all,
they're all politicians, you mean?
Yeah,
that's why
to some extent. They're all plastic banana, good time, rock and roll. To the extent I love Trump, it's that he's not your typical politician. But then where he gets into trouble is when he starts to act like one. And lately I felt like he's flailing a little. I felt like it seems to me like when things don't, like, I think he's done a bunch of things. He's done about everything he can do, maybe from an executive standpoint.
Okay.
And I just think that once he does all that, and then all he gets from Congress, he got the big beautiful bill. I'm not sure all that's in that, but by and large, Congress is worthless, and they're not going to do anything. They're not going to. None of the executive orders that Trump's put into place are they going to codify in actual law. So the next Democrat president that comes in can just issue new executive orders. That's what we do anymore, because Congress is lazy. And so I just think. And so Trump now, after having done what he can do, I think he believes it's going to work, tariffs, the whole thing, but I think it's moving slower than he'd hoped. And once things move slower than he hopes and he starts to feel the country shifting on him or shifting against him, he starts to flail a little. And then that's when you get these hip shots like, what about a 50-year mortgage? You know what I mean? And I'm
why don't you think he has confidence that there's enough seed out there being thrown that will go his way to carry the day into the future? Why do you think he feels panicked when, he's affecting people and was being effectual with the other ones that were to come after him? Why so panicked? Because you have a deadline. That's
because
why
it's not.
right?
Yeah, I think he's looking at the midterms coming up, and and if the midterms, listen, if the Republicans lose the midterm, for all intents and purposes, I think Trump's. I mean, he's going to be tied up in impeachments, and they'll impeach him the next day. It won't make any difference, and they're going to bring all his heads of agencies in. They're going to tie him up in investigations. They're going to do everything they can to just grind everything to a halt. So that means that Trump's term is by and large over if he loses the midterms. That's my take on it. I don't know.
Okay, that could be.
But I think that's why and I think Trump wants a legacy. Trump wants the golden era, and he's convinced he can get it. And when he's got people working against him, he's got the entire criminal justice system, the entire court system's working against him. He's got Jerome Powell, the feds, working against him. He's got all these things and I think he gets frustrated. That's what I think happens with Trump.
He creates enemies in his mind sometimes?
Well, I'm sure he does.
I mean, do you think there's a paranoia a bit?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think so.
There could be.
We can create our own monsters inadvertently.
But to be fair, they tried to indict him on like 200 felonies. I mean,
well, maybe he did something.
It would be hard.
To be fair,
it would be hard to overestimate what the Democrats are capable of. Do you know what I mean? Like they hate him. They hate him that much.
Yeah.
And there's times I've thought and I've wondered, I just don't. I'll be honest with you. Okay? There's times that I've even toyed with the idea: has Trump cut some kind of a deal with the deep state? I don't think he would. But there's just
Make
things.
A good book, huh?
There's things that I look at and I think I don't understand. I don't understand the Epstein thing. I just don't understand it. I don't think Trump's implicated in it, and because I'm 1,000% positive if Trump was implicated in it, it would have come out under Biden and they would have used it to crucify him if they could. They don't have it, but in spite of that, why not just release everything? I don't. What's the reticence? I don't understand it. And if the answer is you're not ready for what this could do to the country, I think, I'm ready. The country may not be, but I'm ready. Tear it down, man.
It may not be just him. I think, don't you think he would try to protect people that he thought were loyal to him because that'll get him, so that continues that loyalty factor.
I don't know. I can't.
It is hard to understand.
I can't come up with anything.
Unless somebody's guilty, it's hard to get, right?
Well, if there's nothing there, release everything.
Right.
Why not? I don't,
I agree with you.
I'm even okay with the idea that maybe there isn't that much there. Maybe it was all built up. Maybe it was whatever. Well, just release everything. It'll all be nothing brings the disinfectant to the world like sunlight. Right. And I just think, okay, just do that. So
I agree with you.
But I do feel like he's flailing. I don't want to spend all day on Trump, but I feel like he's flailing a little. You feel like he is probably.
Yeah, since he came down the elevator.
You felt like he was flailing for a long time.
I think he was flailing when it took that full-page article out on those young men in New York and claimed they should all be hanged.
I don't know enough about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I don't remember. I don't know enough about the whole New York.
Okay,
the whole thing.
I'll look it up, then you'll be prepared.
And I know there's a movie on it. And I haven't watched the movie.
Is there really?
Yeah.
What's the movie called?
Or am I wrong? I can't remember what the
Central Park 5. Is that the
Central Park 5? And I can't remember what the movie was called. I really can't. Maybe I'm mixing it up. Who knows?
No, I think you got it. Well, I don't know.
One more thing with Trump.
Yeah.
Because this bugs me.
Okay. I love it.
H-1B1 visas. You familiar with the H-1B1 visas? What they amount to is temporary work visas, and they essentially are an excuse for corporate America to gut the American workforce and hire a bunch of Indians. I mean, Indians, Chinese, whatever, but outsource everything.
Okay.
That's where you're getting. So you'll have people that'll go into. I had one here that a guy sent. Let me get rid of that. Oh, here's a little chart for you. Buying a home in 1985 versus 2025. I just want to hit this while I'm on it. Median income in 1985 was $23,000, $23,620 median income. Median home price, $83,200. So what's that, about a little less than 3.7? I don't know. For millennials, that was for baby boomers. This is for millennials. So this is 2025. Median income is $74,580. And the median home price is $468,000.
Wow.
Unbelievable. That's over 6 times. That's a bad deal. They
think
got to
about
do
the
something
people
about
that had, parents that didn't have anything. And so they become adults. They don't get any of that. I mean, those are high numbers passed down, and so they're playing catch up their whole life. It's just, this whole generational wealth thing that goes down. And think about, the gap, I mean, really salaries aren't as high as you just said. You throw in the
well, that's just median. That's just median income.
Right. So you know how that works.
That's not even an average. That's like a straight median. So,
So what does that mean? Okay, tell me what it means. Maybe I don't know what it is. What does that mean?
Well, median.
What's the difference? I mean, I know there's a difference.
Median and mean. What median does is it tends to throw out the huge
high and the low
discrepancies on the high and the low, and it really hits you in the middle.
Okay.
So,
how much of the high and low do they take out? If you could just trim the edges off of everything.
I don't exactly know how they get there, to be honest. Statistics wasn't my strongest. That was the only class in college.
The blind leading the blind here. We should just move on.
I did not do well. This is interesting. Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen reports Trump approval for voters under 30 was 60% in March. Okay.
That was good, yeah.
Now it's 35%.
Believable, right?
And Mamdani, that socialist commie mayor in New York, is at 62%. There's a shift in the younger generation. We talked about that last time, but
that doesn't surprise me, does it you?
No, not necessarily, because they're feeling it. Yeah. They're feeling it. And when Trump does what Trump just did, like when he tries to just
shoot from the hip,
soft pedal the entire thing and say, "Oh, prices aren't really high."
Real.
It just doesn't.
going,
That
yeah,
never ever works.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how people want you to reply. That's like a parent. You got a kid comes to you, and they're complaining about something that's real, like it's really happening, and you're like, whatever. That's not like
My
that.
brother's picking on me. Nah,
You're just saying it.
toughen up a little bit. Don't be a sissy.
So here's Trump.
He broke my arm.
Laura Ingraham is pressing him on the H-1B visa thing.
Okay.
And in fact, I wonder, I have here, if I can find, well, let's listen to that first. I have Trump from 2015 talking about H-1B visas too. We'll get that in the back end.
Okay.
There's never going to be a country
This is
like
right
what
now.
we have right now.
And does that
the
mean
Republicans have to talk about it?
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for you?
I don't know what just happened. Sorry, guys. My fault.
And does that mean
There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that
the
mean
Republicans have to talk about it?
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands.
Amen, Laura.
You also do have to bring in talent.
Hmm.
When
we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
No, you
here.
don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have. You don't have.
That's one of the worst Trump cuts I've ever heard.
You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well, let me
When you and I were
I'll give you an
growing up.
example. In Georgia,
Oh, such a good follow-up.
they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants. They had people from South Korea that made
Hyundai.
batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems.
A lot of explosions.
500 or 600 people, early stages to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
One of the worst.
Huge swipes.
One of the worst. Honestly, one of the worst clips I've heard of Trump. Just what is he talking? I mean, how did we build missiles? How did we win World War II?
Well, how did we do it then?
That's the most reasonable question.
And plus to say, we don't have them. What are you talking about? I mean, we have skilled people in the United States, so many.
Yeah, and this H-1 visa thing is a far bigger deal than I think a lot of people realize. This is happening. I've been reading mail sent to different people or different people talking about their in these STEM fields, which is that's what they tell everybody to go in, right? Technology, math, science, the whole thing. That's what you're supposed to go into. Well, they go in and they can't find jobs right now because they're outsourcing everything to Indians. I mean, just across the board, they'll have them come in and train their own replacements. This is how, and none of that should never happen in America. I'm sorry. Get rid of them all together is what I think. I don't care what it does. I don't care what the tech bros think, how it's going to hurt their bottom line. Let's put America back to work.
Part of the problem Trump is he believes there's winners and there's betters and there's losers. And if he's convinced that you're a winner, he wants you on his team. Pay $5 million, come in, I'll give you a visa. You see, right? Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, that's a little different. When you're talking about somebody like that, I mean, most of these H-1B visas are going to lower skilled. They say they're for higher, but they're not. They're absolutely
They're for lower skilled people that don't want to do jobs, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't know if they don't want to do them. They can pay an Indian less than they can pay an American.
Okay,
that's it. And if you're a corporation, you know what? You don't care at all because you don't have a soul. Is the answer. I am not a corporatist Republican by any stretch. I don't like these big, huge multinational corporations. I don't. To me, take me back to the 50s and the 60s when you had a factory in a town like Greenville that was owned by somebody who lived there. And he might have been, he was rich because he owned the factory and he also kept the whole town going. And he actually cared about the town.
I know.
I
It was a
hate
different
all of this
time.
corporatist stuff. Now here's Trump. Here's Trump, a 25-second clip of Trump in 2016 talking about H-1B1 visas.
Well, first of all, I think, and I know the H-1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use, and I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers. And second of all, I think it's very important to say, well, I'm a businessman and I have to do what I have to do. And it's sitting there waiting for you, but it's very bad. It's very bad for business in terms of, it's very bad for our workers, and it's unfair for our workers, and we should end it.
Bring me back 2016 Trump, please. That's what I'll take.
That was back then. I was going to say, this doesn't sound like him. Okay,
that's Trump back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds like he changed. I don't know.
It's hard.
It's terrible. It sounds terrible. I mean, because I was saying that in my head, I'm thinking, well, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize this from 2016.
That's how life changes.
Man.
This is who is this? I'm the worst with foreign names. Batya Ungar Sargon. She is a commentator. She's really good. I wish I was better with foreign names, but she's
well, I didn't even know Batya was a woman till you said that.
She's talking about the H-1B visa holders.
Okay.
The H-1B visa holders who come in here, they are not specialized. They have no talent. You know what their talent is, Megan? They're willing to work for $50,000 a year. Exactly. They have driven down the wages in STEM, which means that our brightest kids are not going into STEM because what are you going to do? Like graduate after 4 years with student loans and take a job where you're making $50K? You're not going to do that. So we're actually driving our brilliant Americans out of STEM because we're importing Indians to do those jobs. It is so atrocious and terrible, and it is such a betrayal of the American worker. And this is a fight we absolutely have to have right now because Trump has done an amazing job of attracting, I think the number at this point is about $15 trillion in manufacturing here. And everything around that, so much of that is going to be AI training and AI work. And we need to insist that every one of those jobs goes to an American. You know, again, like people ask me a lot, what is the correct number of immigrants into America right now? And my answer is kind of the same, Megan.
0.
It's somewhere close to 0. Like it might not be 0. There maybe is another Elon Musk out there who really wants to come here. But right now we're just bringing in, bargain basement programmers when those could be middle-class jobs for American workers, Americans who are struggling right now. Why are so many people on food stamps? Why is healthcare so expensive? I mean, these are the questions we have to be having, and the affordability question is totally inseparable from this question of immigration. The fact that we have so many immigrants in this country is a huge reason why Americans make so little and are struggling with basics like food. If you think about it, Megan, every illegal immigrant in America is either working, meaning they're driving down the wages in that industry, or they're living off the government, meaning the American taxpayer is subsidizing them. There's no in between, right? They're not being funded by somebody in their home country to live here in America. Both of those options are utterly unacceptable.
What do you think, Daryl? Do you think that she's right or no?
I'm not even sure she's accurate, so I don't know. Do you think?
That's why I'm asking.
One person I just heard about 5 minutes ago. So
no, what do you think?
How am I supposed to know?
Are you? Do you disagree? Do you think that there's more positives to immigration than she's giving credit for?
Well, we were born, as a country of immigrants, and this is wiped out the Indians. So no,
we were born as a country of colonists from Europe. Specifically,
well, how's that different? That's even worse. So we're imperialists. But anyway. It's such a general question, I guess. I don't know a whole lot. I know that I had a stent put in, and it was a doctor from India and did a great job.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
So you think that? I
think the lower level of labor, and she's not even referring to this, I don't think. But don't you think it's done by a lot of immigrants? I do.
Some, yeah.
Well, I think a lot. I mean, even in your, in your part of the world, I drive down the road and I told Debbie, they're putting a roof up. Let's go see. I'll bet you that they're going to be Hispanic or black.
In the building industry,
it's not gonna be a bunch of white guys like me up on the roof putting the roof on, and that's hard work.
There's a lot of Hispanics in roofing. You're right.
Okay,
Drywall.
well, that was the one I used as the example.
Drywall hanging, and then siding is where you tend to see
a
lot of Hispanics. Yeah.
Okay.
Not for whatever reason. Listen, I'm not the one who's hired. I'm just saying they're not in the more skilled end of things for whatever reason.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of Americans lining up for a lot of the work that they're doing, which is really critical work, important work. And like, I look out, we live in a condo development and there's a lot of guys, they're all Hispanic. They work long hours.
Mm-hmm.
And they work pretty hard. I mean, we can see what they're doing. And, so that's,
so you think there's more pros to immigration than maybe she's giving them credit for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think
we just had too much.
Obviously everybody doesn't want the criminal portion, of illegal immigration. Nobody wants that. I don't even know why it's a question. Nobody wants people that are doing murders and drug deals, and nobody wants that around.
Mm-hmm. Rapists.
But there are people that make what's that?
The murders and rapists.
Yeah, all those guys, that the left let in, Sicily or whatever. People don't want that. But there's a lot of work that they do. I think they should be paid for it, and I think that it's good they're doing it, working hard. Sometimes I wish I could work that hard. Feel better at the end of the day.
Yeah, you want to get up on a roof?
Not a lot. Jeremy fell through a roof. My youngest son, I tell you that. Yeah, he worked for a roofer one summer. Not so smart, I mean, you got to know where to step. He fell through the roof. He is okay.
Speaking of our old buddy Nick Fuentes.
Oh boy.
Here's a little
the hair guy
X post from him.
Okay.
It's not a clip. This is his X post. The older generations have completely betrayed and sold out the youth. So he's talking about you, Daryl.
Oh no. I figured that.
They have left us a diversified shithole filled with foreigners, dominated by the left and controlled by special interests. And when young men stand up to fight, they scold us for being too edgy online.
Okay. I've never scolded him. I'll just tell you.
No, I know
what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking. I think he makes people with these general statements just kill me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And so
I agree.
He's one of those guys. And so, God, I got a shiny head. Anyways, he's one of those guys.
You can I do too. You can dust it with some powder.
But I used to have hair, but it's like powder my head. That's a highlight of the reel right there. I just, he just seems, I've told you what I think of him.
Yeah.
He just wants to make the edge so sharp that people tune in.
That is a sentiment, though, that's pretty, it seems to me like it's fairly widespread among the younger generations, that there's an anger against the older generations. Maybe that's always the case.
Every generation blames the one before.
Wait a minute. That sounds like a song title.
That's Mike and the Mechanics. And that's a good song.
Is that Breaking Rust?
No, they can't write that good a song. Mike and Mechanics was good.
I do know that song. That's
part
a good
of Genesis,
song.
Right? Was he part of Genesis?
Who?
Mike and the Mechanics was.
Oh, I don't know. You might know that. The only one I know from Genesis is Phil Collins.
I know. He's not doing well.
No, he's I don't know what he's got, Parkinson's or something. But he's really it hasn't. He can't even drum anymore. I don't think.
I don't think so. Yeah.
And he was just brilliant. He was so brilliant.
I love when he comes out on Air of the Night, videos.
Yeah.
It's spooky and I saw
Phil Collins was brilliant. I don't
saw what you did, that song.
And I like that Mike and that Mike and Mechanic song you're referencing. I think is that the Living Years?
Living Years, yeah.
Yeah. I use that I use that in my book, actually.
So the point was, all generations think, this last generation has done something to not make it good for me. Kid, it's kind of the nature of kids, right? Like even you said, that they expect you to come to all of their events, but they won't even watch a doggone podcast.
No.
That's your children,
They absolutely will not.
Younger, isn't it? It's the nature of being the younger. You expect
there is something
be there for you. I mean, we find it as grandparents, not to speak bad, but they just, and I was that way,
Right.
I mean, grandma sent me a card all the time and, and always was great to me. And I just think I probably wasn't as good as I
Yeah.
could have been to grandma. So,
So part of that's
he
just
sounds like one of those
normal.
little whiny to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've done, little kid.
I agree with
you.
you.
So I can't get into him. I can't. So that's what I think of him.
Yeah. No, I listen, I think he represents enough of a portion of the youth and their thinking out there.
Yeah.
That I prefer
Need
to
to
at least
listen to him.
take him seriously and address. See, to me, the answer isn't to cancel them. The answer is address their concerns.
Yeah.
So in other words, if they're being anti-Semitic and if they want to kill a bunch of Jews, well, let's talk about why it's not a good idea to kill Jews. We can start way back there.
Yeah,
and that's
there's
fine.
some big things on the table.
You know what I mean?
I understand, right?
But address
and they
them.
are,
And yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair to look at the modern government of Israel and say all Jews, that represents all Jews, they're all to blame for that. No, even over there, they don't like Netanyahu, a lot of them.
You
so
said that before. I know
it's
that,
not. This is
Half
not
of
a
them don't.
monolithic type of thing.
Yeah, right.
And I actually thought Tucker made a good point of that when he had Nick Fuentes on. I'm not sure Nick took the point, but Tucker made the point that listen, that's not. And I think that too. I think some of the things he says about women, just in general, a lot of it to me comes off shock jockish, like a Howard Stern kind of thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Except that now,
even Howard wouldn't do that. I don't.
Well, now the only thing left is Nazis and Jews and all this stuff because we're not shocked by anything anymore. Everything, you know what I mean?
I continue still to be a little shocked, though. I'm a little, you expect everything. When I hear some stuff, I'm like, did he really say that? I mean, he's one of them too. That he says things. I mean,
I don't.
I was with you. You played a couple clips back to back, and I thought, did those guys really say that?
Yeah, it's a
wild world, baby.
This is another guy. This is Brett Weinstein. He's on Joe Rogan, and what he's talking about. Remember the MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. That was
It didn't last apparently.
That was what RFK Jr. was brought on. Remember, he joined Trump. You had the MAGA movement,
okay.
And then by joining with Trump, you had the MAHA movement. Okay. Well, this he's talking about how the entire system is sabotaging them every step of the way. None of this is a surprise, but it's worth hearing.
Do I think there's a way for the world to be structured?
Yes.
You're never going to get rid of all the bad people, but that it's tolerant, that it deals with the bad people sufficiently well, that the good people have enough of a stake, that the objectives are clear enough, that people have meaning in their life, that they can it be structured so that it works?
Right.
Not perfectly, but well enough. Yeah, I absolutely believe that it can.
So what do you think?
Hold on, but the second question, where I'm more pessimistic, is there a path from here to there?
Oh, so it could be done, but is there a path?
Right.
Hooey.
Things are so wildly fucked up. And, I'm watching, in many cases, my friends pulled into the administration with a lot of momentum behind them. And I'm watching something seemingly prevent the promise that was there from being realized. Right?
You're talking about RFK.
Well, I'm talking about, RFK. I was just with Jay Bhattacharya. There's something that when the good people get to Washington and try to do the right thing, there is an architecture that drains them, that wastes their efforts, that places roadblocks, that causes them to back their objectives way off. And I don't know what it is, but it's disheartening to see it. I mean, even just, we could talk about the mRNA vaccines. This one was so clear. We've got people in Washington who know it. They can't apparently get these things off the market. Like, what the hell is that?
If I was running the board right now, I'd start playing the theme song Pink Floyd song Money? You know, the beginning of that?
Oh, sure.
Dun, 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 dun.
What do you think, Daryl? You think there's an architecture?
Well,
I think, yeah, I think everything goes to Washington to die.
It does. It does. You know, people, they just come up against, they go, like you might think of an AOC, kind of goes in
Yeah.
there, and get it all done. And it's so hard. There's so many things, and you get beat down, and people criticize, and people are angry, and you go,
I don't even
mean,
know
it's
if it's
like
that.
that.
It seems to me like the blob, and it absorbs everybody. It just absorbs you as you get in there. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
I even
Yeah.
think Trump's fighting that to some extent. But so he puts all these people in, and this blob just absorbs them all. And they have some good ideas, and they make a little noise here and there. But by and large, the blob is just rolls on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just too big. It's too big, and it's unmanageable, I think.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? And you'd like to think someone could bust through that, but it just doesn't happen. It just goes on and on. This guy, first of all, he sounds like he's coming from an ivory tower a little bit, doesn't he? There's
Well, he may
philosophically
be-
some things we can do, but I don't
may
know
be
how
an
we get there.
academic.
Yeah. Huh?
He may be an academic. I can't remember who Brett Weinstein is.
Exactly. I mean, like a little bit. And plus, I want his voice filter for my voice. I want to sound
Well,
like
if you were on the Joe Rogan program, you would get it.
Anyways, those are obviously beside the point, but it does seem like everything comes undone when it gets in a system like that. It just chews people up. I mean, it reminds me kind of what happens, when you listen to pro sports, football
Yeah.
players playing the NFL. They go, you know what? The best time of my life was in high school when I played for my
Yeah.
hometown. I'm making
you're-
all this money, and tell you what, man, all the pressure I got to play hurt, and it gets you a little queasy because I like football,
Right.
but it makes you a little queasy. And that seems like the same thing. You get into the dirt of it all, and you can't come out clean on the other side.
In the end, you can only worship God or money. You can't worship both.
You're quoting Jesus now?
I am. And I think it's true. And I think by and large, most people, and see, that's what, when you hear those pro players talk, they don't have the right vocabulary or philosophy maybe to put it in those words, but that's what they're saying. What they're saying is the best time in my life is when I wasn't playing for money.
Right. When
You
I was
know what I
playing
mean?
for my friends and my
Yeah,
mom and
I'm
my
just
dad.
having fun, and I wanted to hear my grandpa yelling from the stands, and then
Yeah.
and once I started playing for money, once I started worshiping money, it just sucks the life out of everything.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is with government too. And then I think you get up there and everybody has so much invested, and there's so many pulling strings, and there's so
Yeah.
much push and pull, and you're not going to, like you said, get elected unless you got all this money behind you. So you have to do something to line up with that money. I think we should just with elections. And this is simplistic. Debbie says, you act like simple answers are answers.
What's your simplistic answer?
My simplistic answer is we really should just stop anybody getting any money. The government should just put up, this is how much we're giving you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're on your own. Now, that's simplistic, but I think it needs to be controlled somehow, because if it's making it so that the people at the top with all the money are running everything, that's not the way to go.
No,
Right?
that's not America.
That's a real simple answer to the ivory tower.
Unfortunately, it's been it's always been a part of America ever since the beginning, because it
you
is
learn
hard
that,
to
don't
get
you?
rid of it. Yeah.
You begin to learn that.
You know who does the name Robert Morris ring a bell?
The pastor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to
It's not a
this.
very nice bell either.
It's a little Sunday show. This is our Sunday show segment.
Ooh, that was a bad one. That was a bad one.
He was
Oh.
give the audience the quick skinny on Robert Morris.
Well, I think when he was real young, maybe even just a youth pastor yet, I shouldn't say it that way, but I think he did have some friends. He went over to the friend's house, and I think he abused one of their daughters. Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah, but
he's
it
a
went on.
pastor
It
now of
went
a
on for
huge
like
church.
went on for like 4 years though, on and
Is that
off.
fair?
Yeah,
I think it was longer than that, wasn't
maybe.
it? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so it kind of went undetected for a long time, and then finally she kind of.
But Robert Morris, he was like a big mega church pastor, right?
Huge in Texas.
Yeah. Was it Gateway or something? Gateway Church, I think.
Maybe so, yeah.
Yeah, massive church, right?
Massive church.
Well, listen to this.
He's not a bad speaker. I've heard of him.
Have you?
But he's very, on that Pentecostal, that
you get what you pay for.
Big church. Huh?
This is a post from Robert Cantor, who I have no idea who he is, but I just want to credit him with writing this post.
Okay.
Robert Morris built his ministry on the message of generous giving. A lot of them do, especially when it's other people giving to them generously.
Well, you need a $10 million building. You got to do that.
According to multiple online sources, Robert Morris's net worth now exceeds $100 million. Despite this, he is suing Gateway Church for a multi-million-dollar pension package and is seeking to have Cindy Clemeshire's $1 million lawsuit dismissed by arguing that the state lacks jurisdiction. Cindy Clemeshire was the girl that you're talking about.
The girl that got abused. Yeah.
It was like 12 or something when it started.
Yeah.
Could have been 14. I don't know. But whatever. If generosity truly is the standard, to then extend it to the woman you abused for 4 years, starting when she was just 12. Okay, so it was 12. Oh, isn't it great? Isn't it great what the mega church Sunday shows have wrought? $100 million as a pastor. You were in the wrong denomination, Pastor Daryl.
Well, so many bad things happen around money with the churches, right? I mean, it's really bad. I told you about the vineyard really being stolen by
Bethel, right?
Bethel Church, yeah.
I
really feel like it did. It was $62 million the property was worth.
Yeah, so I've read enough about that to know that was a fleece job.
Yeah.
I mean, they came in and they just fleeced him and took it.
How do you bring up Robert Morris? I was feeling so good. The Lions are playing a little later tonight,
I just happened to see that, and I thought,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth bringing up. Listen.
Yeah, the church has its share of corruption too. I think I'm talking church in large terms, and
because
money
the church hasn't learned that you can't worship money and God.
I don't. You know what? We can't blame all. Well, I guess the church is the people. I was going to say we can't blame the people. Like I said to you last time we were here, and I said I felt a little bad. Maybe I didn't say it. Maybe we were just sitting around the fire, but people, kind of like sheep. They just want to worship God, and then they want to live their lives. They're not bad, but when they invest in these things, I feel like saying something, and it's hard for me to just, let them live their life.
Do you think it's a lack of oversight that gets you to that kind of place?
Some, the churches that do this seem to be in that quadrant. We've talked about the 4 quadrants. Although the Catholic Church has had problems, right?
Catholic Church has all kinds of problems.
Okay.
I mean, my God.
So that oversight didn't really protect you from problems.
The difference between the Catholic Church is that for whatever reason, the money doesn't flow anywhere down to the priests and the nuns like it does in the evangelical churches. Like the Vatican may have a bunch of money stashed somewhere, but
a lot of times, on these churches that are in this, I keep calling it the quadrant. What would she name that quadrant? The kind of charismatic, non-denominational quadrant.
Evangelical,
evangelical that are kind of, they're independent. A lot of them, there are church pastors that kind of build with the church and grow with the church, and there are some problems with that, because just growth is hard. You're probably different if you're a starter than if you're someone who establishes and maintains, ministries and that. And so and so anyways, they get a personality cult of personality.
Yeah.
You had that down with Heibel's church. You see it with a lot of churches, Morse Church. You just mentioned there's other churches, even Jimmy Swaggart to a point, kind of get that.
You get
it with televangelism too, kind of thing.
Is that huge? I was wondering this week. Is that huge Willow Creek Church down that Heibel's started that's down in Chicago? Is that building just empty now?
I don't know. That's a good question. They turned
I was thinking about it because we got to have a $10 million building in Allen. What happens when things go bad?
I went to another church in town, Livestream. I know they're not your cup of tea, but
I like Livestream. I just heard that one of Kate's good friends was Nadia. She played the Ariel in The Little Mermaid last year. She was a senior last year, so she's at Christian college somewhere. I can't remember where. Indiana Wesleyan, maybe. And the pastor live streams, she's dating the pastor live stream son, and they just got engaged. So congratulations.
Oh, my word.
I mean, within like this weekend,
This is
maybe.
new news right here.
Look at that.
This is
I
it.
know. I'm on the cutting edge of Allendale evolution.
I know. If that's all we get, that's good. Just kidding. No, but that's good. So
Yes, congratulations.
so that happened. So now what was the point of that?
Anyway, live stream. Go ahead. It's like
that was the point of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing that I like that they did is they purchased the middle school.
Yeah.
And said, we'll do some renovation here because this is a huge building. The middle school apparently built, and I don't know, I'm not getting into whether that should have happened or not. But since it did happen and the building's for sale, I thought, what a wonderful thing. And they've taken a big quarter of it and made it into like a Love Inc. kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about?
They have,
bringing clothes and food and
thrift
they're
shop
collecting
kind of thing.
food all the time. And, and I think it sounds like Jesus.
They dedicated parts of that old building they renovated to let the community use too.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
What kind of uses have you heard? I heard pickleball,
don't know.
basically, and walking. There's two things I heard.
I don't know exactly what they're doing. I just know I was around when they were talking about some of the remodels they were doing and things. And
anyways,
part of it was for the community.
Yeah. The good news of that is they're making use of current resources in the community.
I agree with you on
the
that.
Community to build another church that may as you one day. I mean, malls. Look at malls nowadays. I mean, I go down to the mall and I'm like, the big chain stores. What are there? Sears, Penny.
Sears is gone. Yonkers is gone. Yeah.
Kohl's hanging in there.
Kohl's and Macy's, I think, are hanging in there.
Yeah.
JCPenney's barely, maybe.
But a lot of those places are going to be like ghost towns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Malls. So they're huge money. I mean, they become like an albatross around the
that was what
the local government.
That was what Mars Hill did back in the day, right? They took over that old Granville Mall.
Yeah, you know who's backing them, don't you?
I don't.
The Amway money backed them.
Did it? I didn't know.
The boss was on their board. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh,
okay.
She was on the board. They came out of Calvary on Denount. Did you know that?
I think I knew that. Yes. Yeah, I knew that Rob Bell
did the Saturday Night Live.
Yes. Yeah.
Rob's living crazy nowadays, man. He's out there.
What is he doing even?
Surfing.
He's just staying in California? He's got a podcast, some books?
I think I know he goes around and still does these community events where he teaches what he believes.
Oh, does he?
Yep. Small places, seat 400 or 500 kind of thing, like Wealthy Theater downtown.
Okay.
That would be like other places. And so he's still out there doing it,
I was
riding
never
bikes and making videos. I saw he was riding.
I was never a big Rob Bell fan. And it was only because I felt like all the time, and a lot of these emergent guys I felt like this about at the time, was they were so impressed with the profundity of their own questions that nobody ever got around to thinking that there might be some answers. They were
like this guy you just quoted a bit on the Joe Rogan show. I don't know. We were.
Yeah.
I think Rob's, I thought the best contribution was those Numa videos. Do you remember those?
I do. I didn't watch them a lot. I knew people who did.
They're nice little 10-minute clips, 8-minute clips about a topic that really a small group could get together and go, okay, we're going to talk about this. And it gets your mind, thinking about it.
Yeah.
They were cool. For the time, you don't make your own video back in those days.
Right.
You got to have a company.
Now everybody's doing it, but right.
Now everybody does. Yeah.
But yeah, he was on the cutting edge of that.
He was. Yeah. You could probably look up Numa videos and find one. You should look one up. Do you remember them?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I did listen to one or two. Yeah, they were. Okay.
I loved them.
They were.
They're great for young people.
I'm story oriented. I did the same thing with the serials, probably 3 years ago, where I did 10-minute things. But I'm story oriented, so for me it revolved around stories. I wasn't topical oriented.
Yeah, I see. So I could see that. Yeah.
Same idea though.
Good stuff. Good ideas. Yeah.
Hey, here's Elon. 40-second clip of Elon talking about. I had
to ask where he was. Where was Elon last time we were together?
He's talking about his robot Optimus. Okay, this is a quick little.
People often talk about eliminating poverty, giving everyone amazing medical care. Well,
sorry guys, that was my fault.
See, I got closer so I could hear. My earphone didn't make no difference.
Poverty, giving everyone amazing medical care. Well, there's actually only one way to do that, and that's with the Optimus robot. With humanoid robots, you can actually give everyone amazing medical care. Optimists will ultimately be better than the best human surgeon with a level of precision that is beyond human. So I think that's a pretty wild concept to say, okay, if you know, people always talked about eliminating poverty, but actually optimists will actually eliminate poverty. Optimists will actually give people incredible medical care.
I mean, I walked out of that thinking Optimus was Jesus. Like, that's the second coming to Jesus right there. It's the Tesla robot.
Mm-hmm. Tower of Babel, let's build it. But that was odd to me. Who's going to pay for this? And it just, but I remember sitting in front of the TV, and the TV goes, if you want to know more about this product, and there was no laptops in the beginning. Okay. Go to www. And they'd say these words .com. And I go, who's going to get up from watching the TV and go out and get on their computer? Yeah. I was so dumb. See, so, this guy's got vision.
He does.
The rest of us will sit here and scoff.
I'm not saying he's wrong about some of the things. He may not be wrong about healthcare, that robots will be able to bring down costs. And I don't know.
It's a brave new world.
Color me skeptical that any of that money will actually reduce poverty.
You skeptical? Are you serious? You're skeptical?
That's just me.
No, it's only for the rich. And they're the only ones going to Mars, right? Isn't that Elon's thoughts that we could go to Mars?
That seems crazy to me.
Yeah. Well,
I don't believe for a second.
Only the strong survive. It feels like that's really getting it a little more ink these days. That only the rich are going to make it. Only the powerful.
All of this tech stuff, the AI, all of it, crazy talk to me.
Yeah, and the whole idea, that.
Here's this guy. Did you know drones?
You're in.
Did you know drones are still a thing out there? Like,
you
remember
Obama used them a while back.
Well, no, but do you remember we had, was it this past summer where we had the swarms of drones taking over airports and all the stuff that was all unidentified, right? Yeah. Still going on in Europe. Listen to this guy.
Okay. We have an ongoing crisis now in Europe. Some of Belgium's airspace was closed yesterday, and probably still is, as far as I know, because of drone incursions over all certain parts of Western Europe. Airports are being closed. And what's interesting is the electromagnetic pulse weapons that are normally used to down these so-called drones, let's call them drones, aren't working. So whatever is happening is there is a national security crisis right now in Western Europe where successive governments are finding they cannot do anything to respond to so-called drone incursions over their territory. And people are pointing the finger at Russia. Is there any evidence, any solid, hard evidence that Russia is responsible for this? I'm no apologist for an authoritarian dictator like Vladimir Putin, but the simple fact is no one has presented any hard evidence to show that the Russians are involved. It's based on speculation. Who or what is responsible for the drone incursions in Western Europe? These are the kind of issues, I think, that justify why UAPs need to be taken seriously by governments, particularly the US government.
UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. They used to be called UFOs back in the day. What do you think of all that?
You play these outrageous clips and ask me.
What do you think?
What I think is, first of all, he creates something, that I don't even know is real. And then he says they're going to rule the earth or something. We got to take them serious. I don't know. What I think is
there's a lot of talk about
there's enough crazies out there.
There's a lot of talk about non-human entities.
Yeah.
And non-human technologies.
You going back to the AI thing? Is that where you're going?
Well, no, I mean, this is the UAPs, but I think they kind of work together, probably, or they could. Would be my fear. But what do you think all that is? There's people out there that are saying it's spiritual, that the old gods are returning.
Well, I don't think that. Do you?
You don't think that?
I'm not there.
What do you think it is?
like I said, I'm the guy that didn't even, understand the internet, okay? I never understood radio either. I turned it on, the Tigers would be there, that's it. I don't get these things. So for me, I'm skeptical every time, I think. And that sounds terrible.
You don't even believe it. You don't even believe any of this. Any of these sightings people have, any of the videos.
You have to describe what the it is before you say you don't
all
believe
these
it.
videos, you got these pulsing lights, they're closing down airports, these little orbs will sit down on a runway and they'll shut things down. They've released videos of military fighters chasing these things and they just boom, gone. Like they don't
I've heard some of that. That is
they don't operate according to the laws of physics that we know.
What do you think?
I think that they're probably spiritual of sorts. Yeah.
I know you're kind of. Yeah.
It bugs me that the Baptist church I grew up in used to say that forever ago. And I always thought it was crazy. And now I think it seems all meant to be a distraction mostly. And it wouldn't surprise me if Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call demons or fallen angels, it would not surprise me if the path that they chose was advanced technology. In other words, the power of the world, essentially. And that they have that there were other civilizations prior to the humanity that we know where we had unbelievably advanced technologies and entire civilizations were wiped out. And I think if you had a flood and things like that, you wouldn't have anything left. We wouldn't find anything. So to me, I think there's some kind of a somehow the spiritual and the physical world are woven together with these technologies, I think. And I think AI, I told you this one time walking out of church, I think AI, if you could distill it down, it's the spirit of the age. All it can do is mimic. All it can do is look at what real creators have already created and mimic it.
That is interesting.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's really, I think Rob Bell went down that path for a while too. With some
Me
of
and Rob Bell.
No, that was a surprise to me. But yeah, he did it. And he's pretty intelligent and he looked at some stuff, but it sounds always so way far out to me.
It does sound way far out. I know. I think it's going to happen. I think even as you're a rapidly aging boomer, I think that
I'll be out, man. No, don't stick me
I think you're going to live to see it.
Long gone. I don't think so. I knew you were going there, and I'm like, I'm not going there.
This is okay. This is the last clip. We're 2 hours in, Daryl. We've been going.
That's too far, man. People are going to go, what are you
doing? They can't get enough of us.
Get out of here. Whatever. Okay.
But I want to end with
clip.
with the autistic kids.
Okay.
And the mind readers. This is Glenn Beck. You know who Glenn Beck is?
I've heard of him too.
Yeah.
All these podcasters. Yeah.
He's very well. He was on Fox News. He's a big guy. He's probably he was up there with Rush, up there with Sean Hannity.
For you.
So, well, I just mean in his popularity and in his
as far as listeners,
radio shows and
All right.
pretty
Glenn
big.
Beck.
So here he is talking to this chick she was a John Hopkins trained neuropsychiatrist, Dr. Hennessy. And she's talking about autistic kids. So let's hear what she has to say. I found this fascinating.
So the story of this girl was that her father, who was familiar with the idea of mathematical savants, thought she was a mathematical savant because even though she didn't do regular arithmetic, she could solve very complex mathematical problems. And so this therapist was working with her in the home one day and her calculator died. And so she used a different means of doing the calculation. And she used an iPad, and it wasn't in this girl's line of vision at all. And it gave the answer in logarithmic notation. And Haley spelled on her talker. She had a device where you it's like a keyboard that then gives you an electronic voice. She typed onto it the logarithmic notation instead, and the therapist was like, wait a minute, how did you know that? And she said, well, I can see the numerators and denominators in your head. She said, basically, I'm reading your mind. And then the therapist started asking her questions that she knew the answers to. And she's like blown away. And then similarly, a second therapist who was working in the home discovered it through some, accidents. And so when I went there to evaluate them, I put a visual barrier between the child and the therapist, and I had cameras through, all over the room. I had them, above and on all the walls. And then the cameraman and I were in another room, getting a feed, from, the cameras that we could monitor everything. And I had already taken numbers and words and pictures and everything and had randomized them and given them to the therapist as a stack for her to one by one, turn over and see what it was, and then think it and say to Haley, okay, type
What'd
in
you
your
see?
talk or whatever it is. Yeah. And
these tests came back, and this is stunning to me. These tests come back 10 out of 10. You ask 10 questions, you get 10 right answers, right? I mean, if it was
close. I mean, it's between 90. It's between 97.
Yeah, well, still, but if you had 70% right, you would think that would be on the front page of every paper. You have 97% of the time it's right. That's way beyond statistic.
Isn't that insane?
Anything.
Absolutely.
That is
absolutely. And that's the reason why. So back up a bit. After I got my license back from the medical board, I was determined to do two things. And the first thing was I was going to find evidence that would be convincing, to the skeptics. And I knew that there was all this evidence that was out there that was, even though it was statistically significant, it wasn't like knock your socks off. So let's say if chances that you get 25% of the answers right. And you're scoring at 35%.
Right.
I mean, nobody's going to lose sleep over that.
Right. 97% changes you.
That changes you.
Isn't that crazy? 97% of the time, these autistic kids were right. Like, they're reading these people's minds. It's insane. That's like Stranger Things. 11 on Stranger Things.
That is very odd. So you think it's maybe spiritual forces that are somehow being a part of
I don't know about
are?
that. I have no idea about that. I wouldn't
either, but you wonder.
I don't know if it's spiritual or not spiritual, or if there's a way that
the mind just works.
Maybe the brain is that amazing.
When people sit down, they can just play the piano without knowing anything,
Yeah.
Those prodigies. I'm always like, how did they do that?
Yeah. I think to us mere mortals out here, it's always
that's what it feels like.
It's always shocking. You know what I mean?
I know. And I'm trying to dunk from the free throw line, like Michael
Are you
Jordan,
still?
No, when I was a kid, I
thought, not anymore.
Yeah. Well, I would have a tennis ball. I couldn't grip the ball.
You couldn't palm a basketball.
His hands are like this big,
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know that there's so many things we don't know.
That one, it wasn't even, I just wanted people to hear it because I heard it and I thought that is so amazing.
Well, it's so clinical too, it's not just some Joe going, hey, here's what
right.
happened. It's like, she put all these different things together to measure it. And
97%.
I
You're
know.
just flipping things over and they're like,
she's acting like it was only 97%. I'm like the guy going, dude, it was 50. That's pretty good.
I know. I'm
like I almost called him Jeff Beck, I almost called him Jeff Beck. You know why, right?
Glenn, why?
Well, the guitar player,
singer,
wasn't it Jeff Beck?
Yeah.
Jeff.
Was that the show? Was that the band named Beck? Or no?
I don't know.
Was there a band named
My
Beck? Or am
thoughts
I
are
crazy?
random. They're about as like that autistic person. They come from. Except
Are you
they don't
reading
make any
minds?
sense. Mine make no sense. Probably in some higher system, they make a lot of sense. We're just too low to get it.
Well, listen, I think I had a good time going through all these clips. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. I love going through these things that are taking over the world that I'm unaware of. It helps me learn. I don't know this stuff. Is
Look
amazing.
at that. You can help me. You come from the left a little. You lean a little left.
Yeah,
I don't think you're really from the left. I think
I'm just centered on the truth. I just have it all down. Is what I don't. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe people say that. I think Jesus was compassionate. I'll just say that.
I do too.
I did, and I think that's kind of what draws me.
Yeah, I just don't think Jesus had any interest in governments really at all, or institutions in general. He seems remarkably unimpressed with all of it.
Well, it was all different from today. We've come a long way.
Though, if you think about it, you think about money. He didn't care about money at all. Like, at all. Riches, power.
As long as you bring your tithe.
Anything worldly that we all care about. And I don't even mean, God became flesh, and it was like God wasn't even interested in him. All of these things that just like we obsess about them. They become our whole lives. It wasn't even that Jesus was railing against them as much as he just that wasn't even part of his paradigm.
Right. There wasn't interested in it.
Yeah. It just wasn't part of it.
Got that higher love and that higher mind,
Yeah.
Probably even understands this.
He came to turn things right side up.
Yeah.
So
you think he probably, he must have known with this autism question this lady has. He must know how all that works.
Absolutely. Someday somebody's gonna let us in on it.
Somehow I feel like I'm just not gonna ever qualify for that. I'll be like, really? Wait a minute. I'm at the last of the line, This guy doesn't get it.
The last will be first, the first will be last.
Well, that's good. I hope I have a turnaround. I'm in trouble. Okay.
Well, listen, thank you for joining me today, Daryl.
Yeah.
People need to check out our other Beers will be tomorrow. So this drops on Tuesdays. Beers with Jesus, Stories of the Bible. Just kind of go through them. That drops on Wednesdays.
Okay.
They should
I've got to get a filter for my head. If I do this again.
You need a baseball hat.
I could have put a hat on now that I did that. I just realized it. Oh, well. Shine on.
Oh, by the way, I have done a ton of work. I'm revamping my entire store, toddsworld.net. I got a bunch of new merch out there. I've got a new t-shirt. Did I send it to you? Todd's World, the unapproved curriculum shirt. I'm going to get you one of those, Daryl. You can wear it to live stream.
The backstory, though. It's not as good. The backstory makes it. I like that.
I've told it, though. We've told it.
You got to keep telling that story. It's like a gospel. You got to just keep it out there.
So listen, guys, check out the website, toddsworld.net. My books are on Amazon. I'm relocating to put the books on the website. So soon I'll be able to send you there for everything, but I'm not quite there yet.
Get out there and buy.
It's a holiday. Yeah, you know what I need to do? I need to put like a holiday discount up. I'm going to do that for people.
There you go.
I'll let you know next week. Yeah. You'll save I don't know, some money.
97%.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today, Daryl. Okay. I appreciate you filling in for Carrie again. It was great.
Okay. I look forward to her coming back. I like listening.
She'll be back next week.
Oh, good. Good. And I'll listen to Beers for Jesus, too.
I can't wait. It was good.
That's more down my line,
Well, yeah, you're a pastor.
Well,
you're worth. You might not be worth 100 million, but you're probably worth 50 or 60.
I'm still last in line. That's good. Okay. Take care.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week and tomorrow with Beers.